What's up, Wise Take? Welcome to another edition of the Two Guidos. That's right, it's NFL Week 9. I am your host, Patio Joe. You can follow me on Twitter at Patio Joe Rep. And I'm joined here once again by the OG regular Wise Take, my man, Paulie D. You can follow me on Twitter at Paulie8Ds. What's going on, Paulie?
Not much, dude. It's been a long week. NBA is just like a beast in consuming my life, and it's nice to just take a break and talk some football.
Yeah, I know. Just break it, talk some football.
Especially with Patio Joe.
That's right. It's my weekly show. Did you have a good Halloween? Did you and Jen dress up or anything? Or?
No, Jen worked. I had no idea it was Halloween until someone knocked on my door, and I'm like, who the fuck is this? And it was like some young kids. I was like, oh, it's Halloween. Like, I knew it was like around, but I wasn't like, I didn't know it was like that day. So kind of messed up Halloween, but those were the only people that came to my house, surprisingly.
You opened the door and you said, I'm waiting for it too. I'll give you a text when I get a text, all right? You're like, oh, shit, no, okay. Sorry, wait a minute. I'm sorry, wait. Damn it, you wanted candy. That's right. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
kid.
right.
All right, yeah, all right.
Different candy.
All right. So it is week 9, but before we get into week 9, we got 3 games. We're going to do, of course, The Price is Right and our top 3. Let's go over the week that was in sports, like we do. Of course, on Sunday night, the Boston Red Sox hoisted another World Series title by beating the Dodgers in 5 games, as predicted by me. Here, I knew that whoever made it from the American League was going to win. Paulie, did you watch any of the Reds? I know you didn't, because I texted you in that 18-inning game, like, this is crazy. Are you watching this? He goes, what? I go, it's in the 15th inning of game 3. And it's so funny. I refereed 2 football games that night, went out to eat, drove home, and still watched 5 innings of that game.
Yeah,
so,
that's crazy. But yeah, I mean, once the Yankees were out and NBA came, I just, disattached. And, between football and NBA, it's just like I just lost interest. It's just not enough hours in the day to follow everything. But,
funny story about that game.
I don't like how the Dodgers rolled over like that.
Yeah, I know. I was at game 4. Their bullpen gave it up. But funny story about that game. My father was in attendance in game 3, and he left early in the 9th inning. I mean, he stayed 18 innings. That's a lot to ask for. But he did leave only to see Max Muncy hit a home run in the 18th inning. My father was also in attendance in game 1 of the 1988 World Series, where Kirk Gibson hit his home run, and he left in the 8th inning. So my dad has the distinct honor of being one of the few people in attendance of both of those games, but we're not there.
Not there for the greatest moment. Yeah, sweet. Should have sent them to game 4 and told them to leave early.
I know. I went to game 4 and I stayed the whole time, and it was fun, but boy, I'll tell you, the Red Sox, they're just unrelenting, and you just can't make any mistakes. And they took advantage of some bad coaching decisions by Roberts. So, but that's enough of baseball season. We will get back to that in March, where we will be slaying baseball this next coming year. I'm so excited. I can't wait, really, because I was going good, and then the Twins happened, and I just had to stop playing. So.
Baseball was great this year. It was fun.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into this NFL slate.
Yeah, let's talk about NBA, Joe.
Well, it was the next thing. NBA is still rolling in the nation. Every day we got our boy Larry posting his screenshots. We got guys from the nation winning every single day, winning money. I love it, guys. You got to sign up. We got Paulie D, Cash. We got CK. I'm sure he's doing the streams. He did a stream this last stream. You could see the hair out the back a little bit. He's giving the nation a little love. Whenever he shows the hair, he's in a good mood. And he's shaved. So it's like, that's when he's like pretty CK. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, he's got to have a hat on. Because if he were to take off his hat and just let the locks flow with no facial hair, he's pretty cute. I mean, he's a pretty cute guy. You don't want to look in his eyes. I mean, you just don't. So I'm telling you, it's a good time in the nation. You can tell because CK is happy. All right, when you see the locks, CK is happy. Let's get on to NFL Week 9. We got one huge game, probably the game of the year until the Rams play the Chiefs in Week 11, which is a Monday night game, and it's not on the main slate. Everybody's going to talk about that week. Oh my God, we got to play the Monday night game. Just play the single showdown slates now. But this week we got Rams and the Saints, and there's not really much else other games that are really stand out to where other people are going to go. So we picked out two other games we're going to talk about. And of course, we're going to talk about the Rams and the Saints. Do you agree with me about just the first macro look about this slate? Everybody's going to go to that Rams Saints game and maybe one other, and then.
Yeah, I mean that seems to be the trend this year. We've had a couple weeks where there was one or two super high total games that the industry has really flocked to, and it happens to be a game with Todd Gurley, the highest owned player of the season of every week. So definitely going to have a lot of ownership in that one game for sure.
Yeah. Let's get on to this. Let's get on to the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, and the Kansas City Chiefs traveling to Cleveland. Once again, we're talking about Cleveland Browns. It's almost like in baseball season when I was on the show, and every single game day that I was on, Doug Fister, I barely even know happened to be pitching. And every night I'm like, Doug Fister, I barely even know her is pitching. And so it's we're talking about the Cleveland Browns again. Paulie, what do you got this game? Are you looking at Mahomes on the Chiefs side? What do you like, if anything? Mahomes is 9,500 on FanDuel. I know he's a little bit cheaper on DraftKings. What do you got?
Yes, I mean, it's odd to me that the line is going down. The Chiefs opened as 8.5-point favorites, and now 8. The total opened at 52. It's down to 51. After the Browns, cleaned house of the coaching staff and just how good the Chiefs have looked. And, Patrick Mahomes, I rocked with him last week. He did phenomenally well. And he's probably the best bargain in DFS right now, at least on DraftKings. He's averaging more points per game than Todd Gurley, yet he's, $3,000 cheaper than him. He's as safe as it gets. You put him in your lineup, you're getting 25 to 30 points. He's averaging 30 point something. It's just been automatic, and I don't see why that would stop against the Browns. Love that they're finally throwing the ball to Kareem Hunt, because he's just a complete weapon when you finally get him involved in all aspects of that offense. So definitely have interest in Patrick Mahomes, and the Chiefs aren't a team to just step off the gas. Even when they're up by 3 touchdowns, they still throw for a couple more. So just they're gold to DFS. And, there's been enough value every week lately that you can find the money to pay up to that guy in, at least in tournaments. I don't know if that's the optimal thing in cash, but I'll definitely have some Mahomes pretty much every week, unless there's bad weather or, something, offensive line injury. But until then, I'm going to continue to roll him unless they increase his price significantly. Against the Browns, I think, Tyreek or Travis Kelce, one of those two. Basically choose your poison with that. I think they both could have good games here, but I really like Kareem Hunt. Now that they're throwing to him, maybe you do a little Mahomes Hunt and just get all the Chiefs touchdowns. You don't even have to pair the receivers into that. But I always like pairing Mahomes with Tyreek, because Tyreek has the most games over 40 points on DK. And, when the two combine for 80, you're just sitting in a really good spot. But you got to decide between Tyreek and Kareem Hunt. Cleveland, I don't know what to think, but sometimes teams rally on a coaching change. Chiefs, not a very good pass rush defense. I don't think I really want to get involved in Nick Chubb in a game where they're going to be trailing. I think you just kind of, you could take a look at Mayfield and a receiver here. Although I do think the Chiefs' pass defense is decent, but they just put up so many points so fast that their defense is on the field a ton and sees so many plays that, they eventually give up some yardage.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, Baker Mayfield at 56, if you want to like double pay up at running back and get a good receiver, I guess you could do that. I don't think the Chiefs defense is good enough to just totally shut them down. Njoku or, Jarvis Landry, one of those two, I think I would pair with Mayfield. But definitely want exposure to the Chiefs offense. I think I'm just going to get exposure to them every week for the rest of the season.
Yeah, this game, I'll probably, like you said, I might have a little bit. Probably the guy that sticks out to me once again is Kelsey. I mean, last week I was on him, as we talked about. I was way on him, and he produced. He did what we wanted, especially for cash. The reason why is that tight end is just terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't remember a year tight end just being so bad. And then this week, he's the highest tight end, but he's probably the most sure thing. This week again, you can argue that Olsen has a great matchup, but he's always injury prone. And then it's everybody else is just kind of there, and you got guys that are like, you have a lot of question marks. They're in decent matchup, maybe. So it's like, to me, I feel like in cash, I might just pay up for Kelsey because he's the most sure thing. He's got a great matchup. Not like the Browns stop anybody on the tight end. What's their DVOA against the tight end? They can't. It's not that good. They're second actually
against tight end.
Yeah, but they give up 45 yards a game. I don't know. I'd still Kelsey.
I got to take a look at like who they faced. Because like DVOA doesn't always tell like the total picture, and like you go and look and you're like, oh, like the best tight end they faced is like Azuma, so you gotta look a little deeper than just that. But potentially, stay away from the tight end. I don't think like Kelsey applies to that either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if they have faced a bunch of good ones and kept them at bay, then maybe it just makes that decision a little easier and you just go to Tyreek. But I think, DVOA is a little noisy when it comes to like position by position.
Yeah, the only team that they face with any type of a tight end that I'm looking at their schedule would be Oakland on the 30th. They had Jared Cook. I don't know how he did. I know it was a shootout that game. Mm-hmm. And then I guess if you want to say O.J. Howard against Tampa Bay, I guess.
Yeah.
And, I guess it's okay, but I think he scored in that game too. That was a pretty chalky game too, because wasn't that the game that Vincent came back?
Yeah, like last week, right? Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that Browns Raiders game you're talking about. I think Jared Cook had a pretty big game. I'm pulling it up now. Almost positive, like double digit catches. Yeah, 13 targets, 8 catches, 110 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So
yeah, so it's not, they haven't really faced anybody, and the ones that they did, they burned.
Lit them up. Yeah, so Kelsey's fine.
I love Kelsey again. Like, I just feel like in cash, if you're going to get any part of that offense, that's where I'm going again. Because if you look at the running back hunt, obviously we've already talked about who I like right below him. I don't think you can fit in both of them. So there, and then QB, I like Mahomes, but I mean Cam's in just as good a smash spot for $900 less, and then we can keep going down the list. On FanDuel, he's almost priced up too high where you can fade him comfortably and not worry about it because you're going to get points other places. And wide receiver, Tyreek Hill is just he's the ultimate GPP player, to me.
Mm-hmm.
He does have a little bit of a growing issue, but he has practiced the first 2 games. On the other side, Cleveland, I guess Nick Chubb, I think would be a good play because Kansas City, you can run on them. Yeah. They're on the road. They're not, they're not in the confines of Kansas City when we know they play just so much better, and that crowd just helps them so much more. So the only way the Browns are going to stay in this game is if they can run the ball with Chubb. And at 6,600 on FanDuel, he's got to be in play.
Yeah. He's like 45 on DK. He is in play, but you do have to assume that they're trailing a lot, and
Yeah.
you may have to abandon the run as well.
Yes, maybe Duke Johnson, maybe this time, but man, that guy, he just will not give him up. Free Duke. Anyways, let's move on to the next game. We got It's Magic. He's back. Tampa Bay, traveling a little north to Carolina to take on Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers. What you got, Paulie? Is Ryan Fitzpatrick the cash game quarterback this week?
I don't think so at all. I think
that's what a lot of people in the industry are saying. I'm everywhere.
I think there's a risk that if he does poorly, they go to Winston, and I got ruined playing Winston last week, and we just don't know what's going to happen with that situation. And Carolina's defense is pretty good. We don't know if Fitzmagic just reappears. It's on the road. I'm not really that into that, but I sort of get it. But I mean, there's got to be better options for cash this week. No?
Well, on FanDuel, he's 7,100. So he affords you to pay up for the bigger players, the more sure players and stuff. So, I could see where he probably will be pretty high owned on FanDuel for cash games. What's the projected ownership on DK for him?
I'm seeing 5 to 8%
on Roto-Grinders for DK. How about for FanDuel?
Yeah. I'm seeing 9 to 12%.
A little more on FanDuel.
Yeah. They got Goff at 13 and Newton at 17 and Mahomes at 9 to 12.
Yeah. See, I think Cam stands out if you can fit in for cash games. Mm-hmm. That's where I'm going. So talk to me more about this game. What you got?
We're going to pick on Tampa Bay every week. I would think this is a phenomenal spot for Christian McCaffrey. And, you can play Cam, but I significantly prefer Mahomes, even potentially Breeze or Goff to Cam Newton. I think this game may underwhelm from what people are expecting. I could see this being a little lower scoring than what the total says. And Cam's gonna have to run one in at least and get a bunch of yards to really smash. He hasn't thrown for 3 touchdowns except once this year, so it's always 2 TDs with a handful of yards. He doesn't really go over 3. He's only gone over 300 yards just once. So, if he doesn't get that rushing touchdown and the yards, I don't know if he gets you close enough to what some of these other quarterbacks have a chance to put up on the slate. And he's pretty expensive compared to the rest of the quarterbacks on DraftKings. I just don't really play Cam all that much. I think you can play him in cash because he's got a high floor, but I don't think he has the same high ceiling as other quarterbacks. I mean, it is Tampa, but I just wouldn't be shocked to see Carolina kind of win this game kind of handily and kind of sit on the ball the second half kind of situation. So I don't really like Cam here. I do like, and I'm sure this guy's going to be chalky, the receiver on Carolina,
DJ Moore.
Yeah, DJ Moore. Everything I'm hearing is super positive, and supposedly the role is going to grow and he's going to get more touches. So, at a really cheap price tag, I think that he's a guy that's definitely worth looking at, especially on DraftKings, PPR site. If he does get 5 catches for 60 yards and a touchdown, that'll pay off on DraftKings for sure.
Let me stop you right there. I got a little more on Moore. I've been looking at him, and he's 5,300 on FanDuel. Last week, he ran 5 5 patterns or 5 plays out of the slot position.
Okay.
So, and he caught 4 of those plays, 4 of those passes. So they went to him in the slot. So they don't really have a slot receiver in Carolina. And the reason why I'm saying this is that Tyler Boyd absolutely raped the slot cornerback of the Bucs last week.
All season long.
All season long. So what I've been reading is that we're thinking that Moore is going to go into the slot a lot, along with Greg Olsen. That they're both going to be in the slot. That's why they're both great plays. So because they didn't really talk about anybody else going into the slot much. So it's going to be all Moore. So I like him at 5,300 on FanDuel. You can pair him with Cam if you want. You could pair him just play him by itself, or also, what else you got in this game? I want to go because I like it.
He played 46 of 65 snaps, 6 targets, 5 catches. The week before that, 5 targets. The week before that, 5 targets.
Bro was growing.
Yeah, and I mean it's the nut matchup. So I 4-3 on DK. That's probably going to be pretty popular. I'm seeing a Q tag on Mike Evans. I haven't heard anything that says he's not going to play. If you like Fitz magic, then I think you got to take a look at Mike Evans. Although maybe you go down to Deshaun Jackson for the savings, a guy that Fitz had some success with earlier in the year. But again, I don't really love a ton here. Christian McCaffrey and DJ Moore are the 2 guys that I'd have the most interest in. I might be interested in the Panthers defense.
All right. I think I agree with you pretty much on that. I like Olsen. I think Olsen could be the Uzoma of this week. You know what I'm saying?
Total
Uzoma,
bust.
Yeah, but we even talked about him. We were like, we didn't think he was gonna bust. We just didn't think that we're like he's 5'4". What else? How good is he gonna do? How good can he really be? Now we know that Greg Olsen has had those games where he can, be the highest scoring tight end on the slate. But I just don't see it. I obviously they did a decent job against Uzoma last week. He didn't do anything. So, and Boyd was the one that went off. So that's why I like DJ Moore. Devin Funchess, I think you could fade him pretty easily. That cornerback is not that bad. It's going to be covering him. He held down A.J. Green pretty much all game. I mean, he still scored a touchdown, but, he didn't burn him like the slot corner. So I'm okay with that. On the other side, I'm on the other side with cash games. If you're going to pay down, Fitzpatrick's the way you go. If you're going to do that, it's kind of funny because he basically has gone from in the industry a bench player to going in, filling in for a game because Winston went back. Now he's a catch game quarterback for week 9.
And that's what I mean.
I get it.
It's and that's a volatile situation. If he throws 2 picks and they're down by 14.5, why wouldn't they go try to throw it back to Winston?
Yeah, I mean, there's sometimes where I want to these big companies. I want to be like, what you're taught in cash games is the safest route, and this isn't what you're not. Yeah. This doesn't seem right. But I understand the thinking. So I mean, I guess if you're going to pay down, that's where you're going to go. And who knows? I don't know. I'm not sure. But this game, I think, like I said, this is a crappy slate. So this is why we're talking about this game. Tampa Bay, you can pick on them. Carolina, they're going to exploit it. We're hoping this is the DJ Moore breakout game. If you're in need in season long, pick him up. I think you can, fill in for a good week or bye weeks and then keep him because he could be blowing up in the second half.
So let me ask you a question. You wouldn't rather just play Matt Stafford in a dome against a really good run defense for 200 more?
Is it 200 more on FanDuel? Is that what it is?
Yeah, on FanDuel, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really. Yeah, I guess Stafford. I hate him on the road. But yeah, I guess I'm looking at him.
I mean, money's usually not a thing on FanDuel. I'm sure you could find enough money to get up to like a Jared Goff if you're not playing Gurley. I'm sure you are playing Gurley though, so maybe Drew Brees in that
I
same
didn't play
game.
Gurley last week, so
You know, yeah, he's too expensive now.
No.
So maybe you want to get exposure through Goff. But man, Ryan Fitzpatrick against a pretty good defense. Like Carolina's D is very, very underrated, and like they, I'm just pulling them up because I don't want to give any fake news, but almost certain they're getting good amounts of pressure on the quarterback. And I just like, I don't know, like it wasn't all Jameis, you know, like that offensive line wasn't protecting him. Like, I don't know. That doesn't sound like the safe route to me. All right, so Carolina, 2 sacks, 4 sacks, 3 sacks, 1 sack, 2 sacks, 6 sacks. Right, they've got in a 2-interception game, a 2-interception game, a 4-interception game, a 1-interception game, and causing fumbles. Like their defense has scored 8, 7, 3, 12, 10, 1, 12 in their last 7 games. Like they're putting up some points. They haven't really allowed a ton except to the Giants and the Falcons on turf. Otherwise, the Bengals only got 21 points, the Redskins 23, the Eagles 17, Baltimore 21. Like I don't know. You know, I don't know. I'm a little surprised that this total is that high, to be honest.
You know, it's also, though, I think the game theory of maybe even if he throws 2 or 3 interceptions, they're going to leave him in there and then it's garbage.
Yeah,
time,
like because the combination of Winston and Fitzpatrick combined was a very good quarterback last week, but that was against the Browns.
The Bengals, yeah. No, I get it.
Thanks, yeah.
All right, let's move on to the highlight game of the week. We have Jared Goff, Todd Gurley, and the Los Angeles Rams traveling down to the Big Easy, where Patio Joe's going to be going to in March of 2019, and taking on Alvin Kamara, Drew Brees, and the New Orleans Saints. First, we got a question in the chat before you start going in this game, what you like and what you don't like. Very first, can you play Ingram and Kamara tomorrow on Sunday on the same team?
Absolutely.
Will you?
Maybe. You know, I honestly haven't looked far enough, but I doubt that will be a traditional approach to this game. So that's like a way to get a lot of exposure to this game if you think you have to be here and only here and still be a little bit different, because I doubt many people are going to play them both. And I got to go back and look, but I'm like certain playing both of them worked like at least 2 times last year, you know, and maybe even a third. And like the Rams can be run on, the Rams can be thrown on. Their defense hasn't been good since week 1, or, you know, against the 49ers, who are just a disaster. Saints at home on turf, I expect them to move the ball to score. This should be a pretty high-scoring game. You know, and that's who, you know, the Saints, like, you know where it's going to go. It's either going to be the 2 backs or Thomas, you know, like, it's pretty solid. I mean, maybe, you know, what's his name? Contavious Smith or whatever. Like,
No, I'm all about Traquan Smith.
Traquan Smith, yeah. Like,
I could see him, you know, Marcus Peters, he kind of shut down a little bit. He kind of, Devontae Adams, he only had 4 for 103. I mean, he didn't get 10 catches or whatever. So he did all right. So I feel like he's going to be on Thomas. So that, I mean, Marquez Valdez-Scantling just blew up last week.
Yeah.
You know, so in the same on the other side. So I think, I mean, Traquan is 5,100 on FanDuel. So he's pretty cheap. And he's a good pivot off of Sutton or DJ Moore at the same price.
Yeah.
You get a part of that
much
game.
bigger, he's a home run hitter.
Yeah. So we've seen the home run potential by Traquan.
Yeah. I picked him up in season long.
So did I.
I'm probably going to play him. But, you know, he's more of like a GPP kind of dart.
Exactly.
Like, it's not, you know, like Lock City, you know. But Kamara on DK at 7.3, that's just crazy cheap for this kind of game environment. And, you know, we've seen when the Saints fall behind, they'll just throw to him 15 times if they have to. You know, I mean, Ingram wasn't there then, but Ingram at 5K, like that's kind of laughable because like that's what 70 yards and a touchdown. Like that's pretty much that's going to happen. I mean, if the Saints are implied for 20, 29 and a half points, like that's 4 touchdowns. Who's scoring them? It's got to be Kamara. It's got to be Ingram. Like, I mean, he's almost like a nut kind of play. I think Ingram, like, he's probably one of the best plays on the slate. 5K. That's just crazy cheap. Because he'll be involved in the pass game too. Like, it's not like they
catches a couple screens, everything.
Yeah,
yeah.
So that's just way too cheap. Like, way too cheap. That's a 160-yard screen to the house, and you're already at value before you do anything else. And like, he's capable of doing that. You got to kind of make your builds like tell a story here. Like, all right, the Rams get out to the lead, and we don't care that the Saints' run defense has been good all year. Like, Gurley just dominates them, and the Saints play from behind. So you play like Breeze and Kamara, or you take the other side, and you're like the Saints are leading and the Rams are chasing. So you go like Goff with Gurley and or one of the receivers. We got Kupp coming back. He seems to be like their red zone touchdown kind of guy, which is nice in DFS, especially on FanDuel. Or it's just a total back and forth shootout, and you want as many pieces as you can get. So one of those scripts is going to work out, and you can kind of like plot the people that fit each one.
I mean, we were talking about earlier how like for Gurley to pay off, maybe everybody else in the offense might not. So you might just want Goff and Gurley if you're going to go at it in GPP, because Gurley could go off with Goff, and then all the other receivers could always just get like 2x, 1x. They might get a touchdown. You know what I mean? So for Gurley to go for like, let's say Gurley goes for 40 points. If Gurley goes for 40 points, those other receivers aren't going to be going. They're not going to be blowing up. But Goff still could. Goff could have thrown one of those to him. Goff could throw another touchdown to Kupp, one to Woods, one to Cooks, or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it could happen in other ways. It's just that's just the way I'm sort of seeing it to see it work out with Gurley in the lineup. You could also make one where you fade Gurley, and you just have all the receivers. You have Kupp, Woods, and Thomas, Smith,
Gurley's caught touchdowns the last 2 weeks. He's had 7 targets, 7, 5, 5, 5, 6, 6. Like, that's pretty much like a receiver right there as well. Like, on FanDuel, it's a different story, but on DraftKings, like with the other value that's on the slate, I think you can get him, and I don't know. I just think you probably should in this kind of game with this much scoring. Is Gurley not gonna get in the box? Like,
and for me, like in cash games, I'm fading Gurley in cash again. He's $3,200 cheaper than Alvin Kamara, who has just as high of upside, in my opinion, on Sunday.
Yeah, you got to weigh like what you're sacrificing to put Gurley in at other positions.
And Kamara, to me, I feel like unless they're blowing him out, I feel like he's going to be in the game script. He's either going to be in the slot or he's going to be running the ball in between the tackles, because we've seen how he can run the ball between the tackles too. So I love Kamara. I feel like I'm going to start a lot of my cash games with him and move on. Because he's around the same type of price as Kareem Hunt, James Conner, McCaffrey. I want Kamara over all those guys. Hunt's probably the closest, but even him, he's $500 more. No, I'll take Kamara $500 cheaper, and I could fit in something else. And then we already talked about Tre'Quan Smith. I like him. He has a great upside. And I guess Ben Watson, I think, you might be able to throw a flyer against him because, the Rams can get beat with the tight end. They have been shown to get beat with the tight end. Week 1, Jared Cook blew up against them. So maybe you could go with that. Basically, that's it, I think. In the receiving wise, I would go Kupp, Woods, Cooks if I had to go 1 through 3, but they're all in good spots. Cooks is in a revenge game spot. If you remember, he played against them. But I think he already played once against them last year with the Saints.
With the Patriots?
With the Patriots, I mean, yeah. Mm-hmm. So it might not be as big a deal. And yeah, I think, just enjoy this game. It's going to be a great game. I hope it is. I hope it lives up to its billing, and there's a lot of offense, and we all make tons of money, and we're swimming in it on Sunday night.
We've had a bunch of these kind of games, and some seem to be much more likely to blow up spots than others. I would say this one leans closest to being very, very reliable for a lot of scoring. These the Saints' pass defense is horrendous, and I just don't think there's really stopping the Rams' offense. They're just too well-oiled of a machine, and Rams' defense has been terrible, and the Saints' offense is amazing at home. It's just and when good teams play in games like this, they they always find the ways to score towards the end and continue the game. This should be a good one. I don't think this one duds on us, but it doesn't mean you need to get a million pieces from it, because you still got to get the right value pieces from the rest of the slate. There could be breakout games in other spots. Yeah, I don't think there really hasn't been many this year where you've wanted 5 pieces from one game. There was nothing else on the slate. It's pick the right 2, 3, 4 maybe, and then you still got to find the rest of the right pieces at the rest of the slate.
That's it. All right. Now it's time for the game show that is sweeping the Wise Take Nation. That's right. Every Thursday night, we play The Price is Right with Paulie D. That's right. Where Patio Joe will go through some plays on FanDuel, and Paulie D will tell you if the price is right or if the price is wrong. All right. At quarterback, here we go. A quarterback that's averaging over 22 FanDuel points at home at 6,700. Paulie D. Is Brock Osweiler. Price is right.
No. Price is wrong. Don't play Brock Osweiler.
Don't play Brock Osweiler. Okay.
All right. Not a good idea, I don't think.
All right. That shows you where it is at quarterback this week. Obviously we know where Paulie D likes the price. He likes Matt Stafford at 7,300 going against the Vikings. Xavier Rhodes, if he's out this game, I like him even more. I also think that Marvin Jones is a decent play, even though it might be shadowing him. Marvin Jones burned him last year a couple times, if you remember that. All right, let's move on to the running back position, 5,700 in the same game. Isaiah Crowell.
Yeah, I can get behind that. Miami, you want a power run against them. We saw the Patriots do it. We saw another team do it 2 weeks ago. Can't remember who. But power run game against the Dolphins, that's a good approach. So, yeah, I can get behind that.
All right. And then, obviously, we already touched on him a little bit earlier. But 7,500, Adrian Peterson, the old man, the old river.
7,500.
On FanDuel.
How's that compare to an Ingram?
Ingram is 7,400.
Oh, ooh. I
Cash Peterson, GPP Ingram, is that what you're saying?
Atlanta.
McCaffrey 7,900.
You want to pick on with backs to throw to, not as much with guys to run. I'm gonna say no. I think Washington falls behind. I'm gonna say price is wrong there, especially when you got Ingram for $100 cheaper.
That's right. I love it. D Miller in the check white girl wasted just in time for
price is right.
All right. We're gonna go here. Staying in this same game in Miami, 5,400, Danny Amendola. Now, probably more of a DraftKings play, but he's facing the cornerback that just gets torn up by the Jets in the slot.
Buster Screen. I mean, the price is fine, but Devontae Parker really showed that, like, he's just
The talent.
they've made a mistake, and he's the talent, and that's probably the guy you want to play. And I would imagine his price isn't too far away. But Amendola, like, he'd be more of like a DraftKings guy for me because the touchdown equity is not very high, but like 8 catches for 70 yards can get you there at a cheap price. So probably the price is wrong in terms of FanDuel.
All right. At the tight end position, P600, Jordan Reed.
That price is right. They don't have they're going to be playing from behind. They don't have a ton of options on offense, and they've been targeting Reed. It's a matter of time before he finally gets a couple and gets in the zone.
All right. And then finally, for defense, obviously everybody would know if you're playing cash, I think just pay for the Bears, pay up this week. But 3,900 on FanDuel, Kansas City Chiefs.
No, I don't like the Chiefs D on the road, so that's wrong.
All right. That's going to do it for this week's edition of The Price is Right. All right, guys, we're going to move to top threes of the week, and then we're going to get on out of here. All right, don't forget, we have the Wise stream on Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, featuring Paulie D and Cash. Do we still got bros on that, or is this?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
But it'll definitely be me and Cash. And
definitely you and Cash. All right.
If anyone else wants to join, we'll see.
All right. That's good. Okay. Let's go with top three at the quarterback position this week. Paulie.
Jared Goff, Patrick Mahomes, and where is Stafford? Matthew Stafford. Wow, he's cheap. Yeah, Stafford.
And I am Mahomes. I am Goff, and I am Cam Newton. Running back.
I think Ingram is like the best play on the slate at that price. Latavius Murray looks to be in a phenomenal spot, and I'll take Kareem Hunt.
All right, I'm going with Alvin Kamara, my number one running back. I'm going with Kareem Hunt as number 2. And number 3, Latavius Murray. I've had him in all week. Obviously, if Dalvin Cook, he's practiced 2 days this week, so they're thinking he has a chance to play. I think they're still going to hold him out. If he does play, it moves Murray to a GPP play because he'll be on a set snap count. So I don't think Cook is going to be playing all that much, but it does hurt Murray's value a little bit.
Yeah, totally.
Wide receiver.
Give me Julio Jones at like 3% ownership. That'll be fun. This will probably be the week he goes off, when nobody's on him. Give me some Thielen, just every week, best fucking receiver out there. And give me some DJ Moore. I like that value play.
All right, I'm going to go with Thielen. I'm going to go with Michael Thomas and Cortland Sutton as my value play. The Uber chalk play this week.
Yeah.
Tight end.
We'll go with your boy Travis Kelce. I like OJ Howard. And we'll say Jordan Reed.
Yeah, I'm going with Kelce. I'm going with Olsen, and then Jordan Reed down number 3. Defensive position, Paulie.
Yeah, I mean, if you got the money and you love your team, Bears at 4,100. Although I don't love teams on the road, and I definitely don't love expensive defenses this year. But this really seems like a very good spot against just a totally injury, just berated team. Yeah.
Yeah.
After that, you can give me the Jets defense, and you can give me the Carolina defense.
Yeah, you said it. We like Carolina. I'm going with the Bears. The Bears as the number one cash defense. Lock it in. I sort of like Kansas City D's this week, so I'm going to throw him in there as a GPP. I feel like they can get to Mayfield and they can cause interceptions and turnovers and such. And then it really isn't any really good defense this week. It's kind of terrible.
Yeah.
It's really bad. I guess Carolina is the only other one I think of, but I probably won't play them at all. So, anything else to add, Paulie?
No, you already said it. Catch us on the live stream. We've been doing pretty well in football. DK's got multiple wins in the last 2 out of 3 weeks. Shout out to him.
Yeah.
And the nation's just been on this crazy tear with, every weekend we have somebody win multiple thousands of dollars in football, and it's just a good time to come check it out and be a part of the movement.
All right.
That's it. This is like my 5th show today, and Paulie D is gonna get some sleep tonight.
It's probably the first time he's gotten sleep in about 2 or 3 days. So it's, believe it or not, trust me. Jesse Pinkman. So anyways, that's going to do it for the live stream. This is Patio Joe signing off. Make sure to travel the live stream on Saturday with Cash and Paulie D. And of course, we have the YouTube show for basketball that was already filmed and is up there. Be sure to check it out and sign up for the day pass and get ready to smash for basketball. And then, of course, we got all the other sports. So, anyways, guys, let's smash week 9. So, for Paulie D, I'm Patio Joe. And as our man CK in the back, who's combing his hair, says, good luck.
Yeah.